Well, what a day it's been. Just finished walking back from the DeBrother Society for the Aged because we had a program today. It was a everybody's birthday. That's what they call it. I put my glasses on. Yeah, that's good. What the heck? But let me tell you how the day started. Because the birthday, the thing says it started in 1994. So we're at how many? You do the math. 1994 to now. That's when the place started. Uh, so I woke up this morning, did my little wash and everything like that. Then I was trying to figure. Now, usually when I go up, because I do the movement session in the morning, usually I wear a T-shirt. For some strange reason, I got this morning. I was looking at what T-shirt should I wear. They're all clean, they're all washed and stuff like that. I said, nah, let me put on. Then I put on, my the white, the white beater, the, the vest inside. But then I use I haven't worn this in a long time. And it's when I checked the weather, it seemed like it was going to be a little bit. Well, it was long sleeve shirt weather. Let's put it that way. So this is a linen shirt I got from India. I'm starting to do all my shopping when I get to India. Just in India, and that's about it. Get all my clothes from India. Anyway, um, what was I going to say? Oh, and it fits perfectly, because lost all his weight or whatever. It fits perfectly. It looks really nice. So I sort of not say formally dressed, but not like anyway. So I started going up there. Now I have this thing that I'm doing now when I stop by a shop called 1010. Yes, I stopped and bought two bananas, ate one, and put one in the refrigerator. So this morning I just carried with me, and on the way up to uh, up to the facility, talking about the Boston Society for the Age. Then I usually sit. I sit someplace there and I eat the second banana. That's the next day. So I'm getting into that habit where because I walk up, it takes about a half hour or less. Yeah, it takes about a half hour to walk up to the place. That's like my exercise. I go there. I give them movement for about whatever 30 minutes, whatever it is. And then usually I've been staying and taking some morning like porridge. They have millie meal and oatmeal. They switch up every morning. Uh, and then then I go back. uh, so this morning when I got there, and usually I try to get there about 8 o'clock because they have this like they do. All South African institutions do this. Well, not all South, but the ones down here they do this whole church thing in the morning. Whatever. So I try to make it for that because what I do when I go there, since I don't know the language, when they're doing their prayer, when they doing like if they're doing the singing the music because I don't know those songs either, then I hum. I just hum. I do my internal humming, so still exercise. And then when they do a prayer thing, I just talk in tongues. That's what I do. And I stand up all the time on the wall and I do this exercise with my pulling my heels up, leave my toes on the. No, I'm sorry. When I'm on the wall, I pull my toes up and leave my heels down. I'm doing that the whole time. It's an exercise. It's good for your lower legs, your second heart's down there, and all the rest of that stuff. Anyway, so that's right. But when I got there this morning, I lately I've been going a little bit later, coming about 9 o'clock to catch because there's one early van that has a little bit of people. Then the second van comes about 9:15. Then I have then in that van, then I'll have more people so that I can do the class the session. Then, but well anyway. So I've been showing up about 9 o'clock these days. Anyway, so I get there, and the place is sort of decked out, not decked, low key decked out. Oh, what's going on? And it seems like it says everybody's birthday. Oh, so that means that meant that this is a celebration of birthday of the Boston Society for the Aged, who I call the Wisdoms, right? So okay, so it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be a party all day. Okay, fine. So I figured, hey, I ain't got no money this week, so I said I'll let them feed me. I'll stay the whole day, see the whole thing. Da, 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 da. But when I got there, I realized since they was gonna party, whatever it is, I said, look, I had an interpreter. And I said, look, since we're gonna have this celebration today, then we're not going to have the movement session, right? And what you'll do, but what you have to do is you need to then you got to dance because dance is movement, so it's the same. It's the same thing. So that's so I figured that was a good idea. All right, and also when I started, I said something very interesting. I said I always introduce myself sometimes like this, especially when I'm someplace else. I say I am an American African, which means that I travel with an American passport, but I have an African mentality. That's what I always say. Anyway, uh, so, so we have so we had so what did I do? I went outside. Something like I was outside. Oh, I did a post for the Instagrammy. Uh, and then they told me there's some eating inside. So I came inside and they was having tea, and I guess they had their oatmeal this morning, but I missed that, so I got the tea. I was waiting, so I said, look, so I asked for the oatmeal. Right now, the thing about this, here's the thing that there's been so much advance in knowledge about foods, and they get the regular uh, oatmeal, right? But people know that the healthiest oatmeal is that steel oatmeal, the steel whatever oatmeal called steel. The process with the grinding that they use. But like all government institutions or whatever like that, they always get I won't say the cheapest, but the most readily available. Get donations, whatever, however they get it. But I'm always thinking, I'm saying, especially when you're dealing with the elders, if you want to, you should be treating us like royalty. So you get us the best stuff. But here's the thing: when people are cooking and thing, they do what they know, you know. So nobody really studies to keep up on things or to change things or ask funders, however they do it. They don't really do that. This is the problem with a lot of institutions. That something's been done 20 years, 30 years ago, and they're still doing the same thing that they started 30 years ago. I remember when I first got to South Africa in 2003, I said, this is crazy. This sounds like 80s radio, and it's really strange. A lot of they just haven't moved on from that, and they keep on imitating the colonized. I'll leave that alone. Anyway, so then I got the oatmeal. So I went and got some oatmeal. I got some oatmeal. And I don't. They put milk in the oatmeal. I don't do the milk thing because I mean they're real cows, but they don't use that cow milk. They use the box milk or whatever milk. Like that. I'm not into it. So I just had oatmeal and sugar. Usually, if I'm on my own, I have oatmeal and butter, but I don't carry no butter. So that's how the day started, and all the time, they're playing. They're singing. Yeah, they're singing. Or they brought a music box in at some particular point. So people started singing and whatever. See, South Africans will sing at the drop of a hat. I'm just telling you. And since there's a whole church thing happens, so every place you go, they have a service. You know what I mean? So they always say, and if you ever go to a service and somebody starts singing, then everybody join in singing. So that's why the culture is the way it is. Anyway, so this day started to progress on, and they brought a box. And what did I do? I went back outside because when I was outside, I saw them bring the box and the speaker. Uh, I think they have a little USB, whatever it is, playing music. So when I got in and doing all that, they started and so when they started playing the music, I'm just sitting there, at the table with the dudes. But this was kind of strange because they had the dudes, but then some women came to our table. Why don't y'all stay over there? I particularly like it when it's just the men because we have a whole different demeanor. Women come, they just, I don't know, they just in another planet, you know. And I just happened to be sitting next to a particularly, I would say annoying, a particular woman that, whatever. Anyway, oh, well, she sat next to me, because I was there first. Anyway, uh, so uh, uh, so I waited, and people are dancing and stuff like that. And then um, uh, uh, um, this Zimbabwean musician that I know, Cassius Semenya, I forget his name. I know his name. I got to look it up. I just don't know how. I can't pronounce it a lot. Uh, but anyway, I saw him one time in Cape Town. It was when I saw him. First time I saw him was in Cape Town, but it was at an outdoor venue. This time there was a concert at the old city at the city hall and it was really amazing. They had a lot of. It was a 3-day event or some 2-day event. And they had all kinds of acts. He was near the second day or something like that. It was this guy such style. Uh, he's married to the Letton. He's married to. They're a couple, power music couple. Anyway, uh, what I really liked about it, first of all, they all dressed stylishly. His backup band, his singers, and like that. But what was so stylish is when the thing ended and he was introducing everybody, he took each singer out, and introduced her like that. It wasn't like this. It was really stylish. That's all I'm saying. Such style, unbelievable. That's what you have when you have older musicians that know what they're doing. Anyway, so there's the Angelina. There's a song, well, his famous song is Angelina. So that played, and people was enjoying that. And then there was like a lull, and so I, I'm a dancer. What can I tell you? So I got up, and since we wasn't doing our morning movement, I started to do Tai Chi. To this, so it was some music playing, but it was low. It was like, when I say low, I mean it wasn't upbeat or something like that. It was perfect for Tai Chi. So I was doing some early Tai Chi movement, and and then one of my guys, no, so this other woman just joined because I was just doing some hand movements, some movements, stuff like that, and up to birds, predators, wing, the whole thing. I did some, and so she tried to follow me along as well as she could, but she was still too close to me. I don't like people getting close to me when I'm doing stuff. Anyway, so I'm going there for a long time, and then one of my guys is there's two guys that hang out. One's actually this guy dances a lot, but they joined me, and I was doing some other things. She had left. Oh, the music changed and it got more upbeat. So it reminded me when I used to go clubbing. I would do a little stretching exercise, well, just a little movement. But then I get into house dancing. So I started house dancing. That way I had the whole floor to myself. It was really interesting, and I did a whole bunch of other things. Anyway, in fact, when I finished the Tai Chi movement and the woman had joined me, when that thing finished and she was leaving, they gave us an applause. I don't know why I wasn't paying attention, but they gave an applause. What can I tell you? So then I started dancing in the house, and I danced the whole room because then nobody was dancing at that particular point. I danced the room when I got my new my stick, my walking stick. I walk in the morning because for the doggies and stuff like that. So here it is. So I went around with this monster here, this stick here. So I was dancing with the stick. So that was all well and good. Uh, and then so I finished that and I sat back down, and they started to do all kinds of things, say what the day was about and all that stuff. So I got all that stuff. So I'll post on the Instagram, and maybe I'll put some pictures on here too, or something. I don't know. I was taking a lot of, it was a day of games. That's what it was. Like fun day. And they had this toilet paper game. They had the chairs when you run around and take the music off the chair. They had this thing with the ball and the thing. They had this other some water thing like that. Getting the champion of each one. So that was nice. And they all went out. It was a fun day. Uh, and then, so what happened next? Oh, then finally we got in. Oh, they were coming in. The van came and they had two big boxes of cake. I said, oh, that's nice, right? And they also brought some soda. They had Coke and they had Fanta. I call it Coke and Nazi drink. But then they saw a little thing. They brought a Sprite, right, like that. But here's the thing: South Africans, especially, we like Stony. Here's the thing: I really don't. I don't know why. You should, if you're gonna have something this elaborate and planned, then you should have a little thing. What kind of soda do you like? You know what I mean? And people will tell you. Stony will come all of maybe a quarter. No, you should have it in your budget. Remember, this is the elders. You're supposed to be treating them like royalty. This is the people that paved the way for you, struggle or credential, all that other stuff. Anyway, let's leave that alone. So, so, so okay, fine. Finished with the games, go inside, and then it seems like I wasn't there last week, so maybe they had this thing last week. you had to pay for a little bowl. I didn't know that. They said, no, this is pay for. You can't. I said, ah. Then they gave us a little packet, and it had lunch bar, but the one with the white thing. They had a, a pop, a lollipop, also a yogurt lollipop, and they had Simba chips. And I opened the lunch bar. I said, I ain't eating this stuff. This is no. So I just left it. Uh, and then finally we had the cake that they brought. I'll get to that. Well, then we had a meal. You had rice, potato salad, uh, beans, beetroot. Love that. Uh, that was and chicken and some beef. Uh, I'm not really a big beef thing, but the nice thing is about the chicken. This wasn't no KFC whatever chicken. This was like real chicken. You could tell, real chicken, like I get in India. You know. Uh, so had that. Then they bring the cake out, and I'm going like, you have these two big boxes of cake, and then they're both, this vanilla cake. I'm going like, at least you have one chocolate, one vanilla. No. I say, this is the problem. I'm saying to one of my bikes. I said, this is the problem. We colonize so much that we like white. We don't even. And remember, what's Africa known for? Chocolate. Where's our chocolate? That's the other thing. It's so weird. Every place you go, they have this. You don't have dark chocolate, and this is the continent with chocolate. Why don't we have real chocolate here? Why we get? Well, we know why. Anyway. So there was some particular point where, well, I'm gonna leave that alone. That's all right. Well, it had to do with the Sprite. I'm going like, I don't want this Coke, American. I don't want this Fanta, Nazi. Uh, I'll take the Sprite. But they said, oh, we don't have any Sprite. No, well, something like, no, gave me the Fanta. I said, I don't want this. I just gave it back to her. So finally at the end they gave me some Sprite. It's not for me. I'm just gonna give it to. Let's slowly at somebody here, because I'm just drinking my filtered water. So I was taking a lot of photos, a lot of stuff like that on post. So this is going to be so that was my day. And then I was sort of miffed at the end. Well, I don't know. I had several revelations today. One of the things I get this all the time. I always think about my grandmother a lot. Remember when I was teaching in Cape Town, and one of the students, she said she wanted to know something. I said, well, if you knew my grandmother, you know me. And it's like every time it goes, I realize the relationship I have with my grandmother was different than any other siblings. It was than anybody else. One of the things I say is that you as a human, right? It's like you pick the circumstance that you want to experience in this lifetime. I insist that. I had a charmed life. I was so fortunate because, for instance, I don't like bullies. I don't like people who give orders. My grandmother really, it was discipline, but it's a weird thing. She didn't bully us. It was all logical. It's kind of, I can't explain it, And I was at a point, I was as I am in the order of the siblings, I'm the one that was the least problems. And in a way, I found this out much later. I guess I was the most intellectual of everybody, but intellectual meaning that I was, I don't know, it's so weird. I can't explain what I am. But when I realized with all these old folks, there's a lot of people who are just show out, they're bullies and stuff like that, and I don't take orders. That's the thing. I think I got that from my grandmother. I don't take orders. You got to be logic. You said, well, wasn't you in the military? Yeah, that's true. But that's something weird. Not weird. It's something different because I go through that. It's like learning. It's like being a jazz musician. You learn the rules so that you can then, twist it, whatever have you. So even when I was in the military, like at every turn, I twisted things to my favor. In fact, when I was there 1970, 1974. This is the Vietnam era. Um, and no, I wasn't sure. I was a medic anyway. I was going to save lives. I never left the country. So I was. To me, there's three different realities. There's the people that stayed in the States. There's people that was when outside the states, it was like Germany, Korea, whatever they, Philippines, wherever they were, right? Then there was people that were in country talking about Vietnam. Uh, and it's all they have a different. Everyone has a different mentality. Kind of, I talked to Michael G about this a long time ago. They have a different mentality, and and different levels of trauma. Let's put it that way. Because even when I got out a few years later, I said something wrong. I knew that I was institutionalized. When you're institutionalized, you're institutionalized. And I had to go through a whole process, self-healing process, where I uninstitutionalized myself. Right. This is what the '80s were about. This is kind of interesting. When I was traveling in the '80s, I did a lot of alternative medicine, alternative a lot of stuff. So it was kind of interesting. Anyway, uh, so I figure I don't like bullies, and I don't like to be told stuff when you're just gonna tell me. I can't. My brain, I get a, I, because even when I was in the service, I did the work. I was doing Panther work, or I was organizing it. I was organizing at the base. We was doing sickle cell screening and lead poison screening from the lab. I mean, we were doing fundraisers for the community for we were doing a lot of stuff. I co-founded this group called the Black Caucus. All these military people, and they feared us so much. I won't get into that. The point is, I've always been a person. And I think what happens is, I guess because of theater, whatever it is, I don't want. I have to say it this way. I know it sounds kind of strange. I'm a visionary. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. If there's a rule, I say, okay, that's fine. That's great. Almost like a contrarian. Then I say, but now, where can I take this someplace that's a different vision? The problem that we have a lot, especially with people that keep on doing this sheeple thing, or you following what the politician, whoever you idolize as a celebrity, they don't have, they really don't have vision. Uh, and they're always constantly arguing. They argue their point of view, which is actually a point of view that they got from someplace, and they continue the narrative. Let me give you an example. I was listening to this morning because I like to hear Judge Joe Brown. Unfortunately, you got this Diana with Dana with the data. It's a good combination because she's so, I don't know, when she grew up and Judge Joe Brown is so old. They were arguing about hair. Well, she was trying to put, because Michelle Obama's on this hair thing, I guess she's trying to be black, and that's the issue. I have no idea what's happening to Michelle Obama. So she was saying, well, she wanted to do braids, but she couldn't do it because of whatever when she was first lady. I'm going in my head, I'm going like, well, you had two girl children, you could have put them in braids. You didn't have to, so you could have started a whole thing, instead of, look, she a Negro peon if there ever was a Negro peon. I'm sorry to offend you folks, right? And I'll get to that in a second. So it bothers me that she has the power to do something. She's running around now bashing men, telling men are not ready for women. Well, no, we're not ready for the women that you put up. You're going to tell us, forget Hillary Clinton, you're going to tell us Kamala Harris is for black people? Come on, get out of here. You're doing it because she's a woman. You're not doing it because she got anything in her head. In fact, she boinked her way to the top. You support that? In a way, you boinked your way to the top. What you do? Barack Obama was your employee. You done did that to him. And that, look, I didn't want to get into her. She's, can I say, she's a useful idiot. That's what I said it. Michelle Obama is a useful idiot. She goes wherever she went to. She goes to Princeton. So she's Princeton on whatever it went. So she's not like us. Let's put it that way. And all these people like that, all these academics, they speak for black people. We speak for no, speak for your class, for your circumstance, right? That's it. Leave I love this, the lumpen proletariat alone. I don't want to be Marxist, but leave us alone. We know what we're doing, right? What's the pound cake speak? You people that get on your high horse, you become successful at a young age, then you think everybody, then you go around at some thing in the future, you start talking about, you know what black people want, but you came from this, you came from, but you're not there anymore. You've been how do you say that? You've been rich for a long time. You know what I mean? and you done left the community. You know nothing about the reality of what's happening in the projects, whatever. You know what I mean? And then you see some stuff and you glam onto it. They say, this is what's wrong with black people. Yeah, meanwhile, you riding your little high horse, you come preach to us, and then you go, your horse poops, leave us with the poop, and you're down the road to your next conquest, to your next, getting your next riches and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I then went off. Sorry, I was talking about something else like that, like that. What's up? What's that?
Another house.
Yeah, well, I don't have anything. Good morning. Da 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 da. Can you please with? No, I don't have any money. This is a bad week. Tell us the end of the month for me. I don't have any money. I don't have anything. Okay. Everybody thinks that they can give that I'm somehow. This is a bad time for me. I actually have no money. That's why I'm stuck here. That's why I'm stuck here. No, I don't have it. In fact, my wife ran out of data. I mean, I'm trying to get up to Good Bevel, and maybe Thursday I can make it up there. A little bit of money, have and give her money. I can't support the whole thing. Anyway, back to the point. Because when you live in a town, when you live in what is a township like that, everybody if they think you have money, they keep on trusting their luck. Well, let me this, let me have, and I gotta just say no, no, just no, 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 no. I'm an adult. I can say no. Back to the point. You know, so my whole thing about this whole, especially this, she's off on this hair thing, identifying with black women, I guess, like that. There was a thing, I don't know if I got it from Henry Dumas, a story that he wrote. I know Malcolm always said, you might not want to go back to Africa, but your hair want to go back to Africa, whatever it is. But I think it was Henry Dumas that said, he's a writer, black arts writer, don't worry. Uh, he said, maybe somehow I got it this way. If, if, if if black women keeps on straightening their hair and doing this process, whatever happening, they want to do whatever they're doing. The problem is you're imitating white people. So why would then you say, oh, but brothers, they only want with the white woman, which is untrue. But the point, well, why should the brother take an imitation white woman, which would be you, what you're doing, right? Why don't he, And then Dana with the data, she was talking about, in a corporation. Well, you're the one that went into the corporation. You should have went with some backup and say no, da da da. And all they want is, and they want to do the braid thing. Look, nobody wants to do the natural, whatever have you. I grew up with the natural. I remember, I think it was Monique, when she first walked, I remember 155th Street, she's walking to the cadet corps like that. And I'm in the name, well, one of the elders, one of the founders, one of the people there, she said, oh, look at that jungle bunny. Call it, and I was freaked out. Why would the man say that about her like that? So this is what we had to contend with. Anyway, but back then, I mean, you took time with your hair. You was like, ooh, all those beautiful afros and stuff like that. And now they're saying, oh no, when we press our hair now, it makes it easier. We can't go swimming. Oh, please, we were swimming and everything like that. So I don't want to hear that. It's junk. It's stupid, Spend the time like that. Stop trying to look like white women. And then when brothers go to the white woman, because they don't want the imitation white woman, which would be you. So I don't want to hear it, right? You don't come to me with that. It's nonsense to me, right? Because I know the hair care products. The point really is, there are things that they keep on the black women these days, as they say, and it's terrible. You know what I mean? And there's always another way. Let me give you an example. Ibrahim Traore, the head of Burkina Faso, right? He outlawed hair extensions. Extensions, because it's been proven now. I don't know if he did it this way, but you have hair extensions, but you have that polyester, whatever the hair, and it's bad for your skin. It's bad for a lot of things like that. So he outlawed that. Now, one thing is, if you take something like that away, and black women want their extensions, now I meant to, I'd make a note of this, but there's some sister, I think she's in Uganda or Ghana or someplace, she is making hair extensions out of vegetables. Now, if you know anything about hair extensions, well, if you know anything about hair extensions, you keep it in for 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, then you got to get rid of it anyway. You got to change it anyway. So if you're using a vegetable hair, whatever process, vegetable hair extension, hey, it's natural, da 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 da. So if I was my commander in chief, if I was Commander Ibrahim, what I would do is say, okay, we can't do that, but there's a sister in here. We're gonna start a whole thing and help her, you know, help her to expand this thing about using the vegetable because we got vegetation as hair extensions, right? Versus there's some sister from Cameroon. It causing a big stir in the States because I think it's in Atlanta, where they have this whole, she has this whole, these the places open 24 hours and people come in for their hair extension, whatever. So I'm saying somebody, she's from the continent, she should be talking to this sister. Okay, let me get your hair extension. We're going to get these vegetable extensions, right? Rather than this other stuff that's killing us, you know? And it's so weird because we do everything is done and we accepted to kill yourself. All the sisters wearing the spandex. South Africa, they wear a thing under a thing, uh, like leotards under this dress and stuff like that. But that stuff is made out of whatever it's made out of. So that's killing you. Everything. They don't have to do anything. Just keep on doing what they do, and we accept this stuff, kill ourselves. Hey, it'll kill you, right? So, so the point is this. I don't. I think we don't think. I think that when something happens, instead of finding the alternative that's good for you, well, not the alternative, the thing that's good for you, that's natural, whatever have you, we just go for the easiest things. In other words, we're lazy. We don't want to do. We don't want to do because we're lazy. We don't want to do the real work to research to do whatever. We want to do the easiest thing and the shortcut and the celebrity thing. My biggest. I'm gonna end here, but here, give you an example. And when you say reparations, first thing people is money. I don't think about money when I think of reparations. Yeah, you can. I'm not saying you don't do that, right? But my thing, you know what my reparations is? Open up the FBI files. Open up because the government owes us FBI CIA files. Open up archives, I should say. Open up the Catholic Church archives. That's reparations. You know, I you see, open up those archives because knowledge is power. You know, you learn what they did, and you get out. And that's the only time I'll do it with because I don't like academics either because they're useless to me also. Not all of them. I shouldn't say it that way. There's some that's doing stuff, but you don't hear about them. But the point really is, it's so much bigger than it is, and they got us just talking about this or that, and then people react to that. Oh, I was part of slavery. Oh, please stop it. You know, and you don't listen to the right people. And they attack people, and we attack our own. And said, I don't want to attack somebody. Say, okay, here's what you're saying. Here's what we should be doing. Now, here's what you're saying. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. Calling names. That's the other thing. I'm gonna act like a Miss Neely Fuller Jr. Miss Neely Fuller Jr. So what's that for? That's my thing here. Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. I'm an acolyte of Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. And he, to me, had the answer. Because racism is the thing. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is the audio drama that was made. It was made by written by 13-year-olds, performed by people in Philippi, and was made into a comic book, and then made into a film. It's a film. It's on YouTube. Stuck it in there. But Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. wrote this book. This is the original 1984 thing. I got it from my fraternity brother, James Condy. He gifted it to me. And this is the original thing like that. I had it rebound. In Love the Oppressed, which is the revolutionary press that put out all the stuff for during the struggle, right? I had it rebound like that. So this is the original one. I have the other copies too. And so he says we have to address this system of Anglo, and then I say Anglo. I say any system. He says a system of racism, of white supremacy. As my academic duties, I should say I did do some. Well, let's leave that alone. I say it's the system of Anglo, that's the first one. And you could, it's a system. So you could replace Anglo with Chinese, Indian, Korean, African, black, whatever it is, Spanish, whatever. Racist, embracing racism, white supremacy. So the system of white supremacy is perpetrated by the people who embrace that system. You see? So you got to get rid of the system. You got to destroy the entire system, which also includes our economic system. You didn't start this economic system. So why are you abiding by it? You didn't start this political system. Why are you abiding by it? It doesn't make any sense to me. The people say, well, are you a socialist or are you a devil, whatever. I say, I'm a communalist. Before we had all this stuff, I don't know about Africa, but well, maybe Africa too. Most you was in a community, so you would help. Like somebody asked me for 20 rand. Oh, I'll share with my neighbors. No, because do you want that money for what? No, you got children. You got they should. And this particular woman I know, she has a child that did not raise right. The boy is a scoldy. The point is, get get your family together and get them to working. I tell them all, we are growing food here. Grow your food? You hungry? Eat. Get your food together. Anyway, I didn't went off as usual. Sorry. Okay, so so it was all in all, it was a great day. I'm back to walking. The walking is really good for me. I really like that. I gotta get. I'm trying to get this I have some money issues right now. Not my well, maybe it is. No, it's not my fault. And so I have to address that. So I'll be addressing that, and hopefully everything will work out right. Well, I think it will because, well, as they say, the universe is on my side. The universe loves me. The universe loves you, love you too if you do the right thing. Like I said, I addressed this. I didn't know the thing was happening, but I dressed the appropriate way. Everything went well. My whole day has been like one revelation after another. So there you are. I'll check y'all later.